welcome to Creating Wealth Through Banking, brought to you by the CEO Prep Academy. And we are super excited, not only just about the information that we're sharing today, but this is our first webinar that we're hosting as the CEO Prep Academy. So we are just super excited to be with you this evening to gain the information, but as well as this inaugural event, to celebrate this inaugural event. Our time with you this evening will be broken down into 4 parts. We're going to start off by talking about the movement. What is the movement? What is CEO Prep Academy? What's the need in our community? And that'll be brought to you by none other than Mr. Eric Robinson, as well as the benefits of being an ambassador. The third section, we will actually hand over the mic to none other than our special guest, Mr. Donahue Baker with Money Avenue, and he'll talk to us about building wealth through banks. And then to wrap it off, we'll have none other than our CEO, Mr. Eric Robinson of the CEO Prep Academy, to come and talk to us about how can we get involved and what can we do as a part of our next steps. We are broadcasting live or streaming live to our Facebook group. So if you go to the Facebook group, it's called the CEO Prep Academy. You're able to stream it and share it right now with your friends and family through Facebook. So we're going to just take a moment as I'm telling you a little bit more about the CEO Prep Academy, which is a Facebook group that we just started this week to help CEOs prepare to be successful in their entrepreneurial pursuits. Okay. Again, you can find us by just going to Facebook, and in the search bar, you're going to put the CEO Prep Academy, and we'll come right up. You'll see an image of the ladies and the gentlemen in this meeting right here. And then if right on the top part of our news feed, you'll see this broadcast, and you just push the button share, and then you're able to share it on your timeline or any other groups that you would like to share this information with. The great Michael Jordan said, "Talent wins games, but teamwork and intelligence wins championships." And you guys, we are here to win the championships. So we are locking arms together and with teamwork to move this work through. We're here tonight to build upon our intelligence, specifically when we're looking at money and we're talking about banking. And this will empower not just us, but then our community at large. So let's start out with a check-in. And when you look over a course of a month, how many different banks do you deal with? Okay, so what banks do you deal with your personal accounts, your personal and your business savings and checkings account? What about your car loans, your mortgage? What about these new digital apps like Cash Apps and Zelle, PayPal? And then don't forget about those credit cards that you have and your prepaid cards and etc. How many different banks do you deal with on a monthly basis? Just click in the chat bar and type the number of banks that you deal with on a monthly basis. Okay, and Eric, for some reason, I am not able to see the chat. Are you able to read off some numbers to me?
I can. I got somebody. Brenda says 6.
Wow.
Jacques Vaughn says 7.
Mm.
Alicia says 1. James Burrell 5. And you know, Mr. Eric Watson said 8. And we talking about our credit cards, and you're talking about your Cash App, PayPal, you're talking about mortgage accounts. So all of those banking relationships. Mary, I got some call-ins from Facebook. Malcolm Turner says 6 to 8. Terrell Alexander said 6. Miss Karen Parrish said 7. She said she needed to revise her previous answer. And I got 17 when I started looking at the car loans and the credit
Wow.
cards from different credit card banks. So yes, you're at 17.
Wow. Wow. So when we're talking about creating wealth from these by working through these institutions, right now it seems like the tables are a little unbalanced. It seems like when we're talking about like the loans and stuff, we're paying a lot of money into these banks. So tonight, our focus is on shifting it and making that relationship with that banks a little bit more equitable. Would that be okay with everybody?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So then without any further ado, I'd like to introduce our first speaker for this evening, and that's our none other than our CEO and founder of our of BCEO Prep Academy, Mr. Eric Robinson.
All right. Well, I want to say thank you, Ms. Robinson. And when you start doing that earlier, my earlier number was 11 banks, and then we start adding credit cards, mortgage, and car loans. It's like, wow, my number went up when I started looking at relationships with bank. But first, I want to say good evening, everyone. Thank you all for tuning in. Once again, if you're just getting on social media, we're asking you that you share. We're streaming live from our Facebook group, which is the CEO Prep Academy. So if you have multiple devices, if you're on the CEO Prep Academy, share this to your friends, family, share this to your page, share this to your stories. Share, 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 share. We should have over 100 shares. I know I've shared it over about 15, 16 different places. So if everybody can just share it to 5, 6 different your groups, we want to get this word out. Thank you, Mary. We can go back. We can talk about the CEO Prep Academy real quick. The CEO Prep Academy, we came together, me and my 3 other business partners, Dr. Mary, she is our Director of Education. My other business partner, Mr. James Burrell, he is our Chief Sales Officer, handles like all our sales part components. And our other business partner, Mr. Jacques Vaughn, is our COO, our Chief Operating Officer. He keeps us in line, and he's the whip cracker, if you will. So I try to stay away from him as much as possible. And and we all kind of found it together. We came together about 9 years ago, real quick, and we kind of been helping entrepreneurs through their journey. And through their journey, we realized there was a big hole. We do a daily call every day, just so you can tune in, Monday through Friday, for the last 9 years, 9.5 years now. We've done a show, over 2,300 shows that we do freely from 8:30 to 9 a.m. And we'll get you that number a little bit later. But we do a show and we talk to entrepreneurs, and we've had any range from 10, it could be to hundreds on our show every day. And we realized there was a missing piece of the puzzle, right? There was a gap in there. And a lot of entrepreneurs, including ourselves, weren't ready to be successful in business, right? So what is the need? You can transfer next slide. You know, then that's who we were prior to meeting Money Avenue. You're going to hear a lot about Money Avenue and the owner, founder, Mr. Donahue Baker. But we had started down this journey, and then we kind of met and collided and came across Money Avenue, and it just felt right. It was lined with our mission. So some of y'all say, hey, why are you here? What's the story? What's the catch? The catch is where they're going lines up with the mission where we were going. And I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, if you're on this line, it should line up with the mission where you're going, hopefully, right? Because here's the need. The COVID effect. Before we met Money Avenue, something came obvious to us. This Corona hit, and there was a couple of things. The government also gave money out the sky. We never had money, but then $2.something trillion came out of nowhere to stimulate the economy. Well, they had something called the PPP, which was Paycheck Protection Program. And you had the EIDL loan, which was administered by the SBA. Here's the deal. The SBA had this money, and they went out to the bank and said, we can't administer this. They gave us hundreds of millions of dollars the government gave out free to businesses. Understand something. This was loans that you didn't need a credit check. This was loans that you didn't need collateral. This is loans that you didn't need any documentation for the most part. Just prove that you was in business, and they gave you 2.5 months worth of payroll, and you don't have to pay it back. But here's the deal. When we looked at the numbers, less than 2% of Black businesses got that money. And when we started, I saw that number, and my partner, we talk about this on a regular basis. That's incredible. And it's simply because most Black businesses did not have a relationship with a bank. If you knew somebody at the bank, then maybe you could get your loan through. But if you didn't know anybody, you were just another number and it was put on the back burner. And we make up over 13% of all businesses, but we got less than 2% of the loans. The second thing is this financial literacy piece. That's something we've been thinking about, talking about. Eric Robinson needs to be more financial literate, right? Our business owners, we all need to be more financial literate. And the statistic says 67% of Americans couldn't pass a basic financial literacy test. And I know most of you on this line probably could. We got some smart people on this line. We even got some financial wizards on this line, some financial advisors. So I'm thankful for you for tuning in on this line. But the average African-American can only less than 40% can pass that same test. That's a gap right there, 27%. You can't win being 27% behind. Then the third thing was just the wealth gap. This is just major. The median wealth for the white families is $171,000 in 2016 and only $17,000 for Black families. Now, ladies and gentlemen, that's when you take out the uber rich. Let's take out the Jeff Bezos and the zillionaires and the trillionaires. When you're talking about taking out the ultra rich, ultra rich, you still have a gap of almost $150,000. I knew this before, but I didn't have a way to try to bridge the gap. It was just like something barbershop talk, me and our partners talk about. We could just talk about it, but it was really hard to take any action without any economic vehicles and tools to do anything. You kind of felt helpless. So next slide. We entered and met a gentleman, Mr. A. Donahue Baker, the CEO and founder of Money Avenue. What they was doing lined up with what we believe. And so you're on this slide right now, we're asking you to become an ambassador for Money Avenue. We are partnering in being ambassadors. Here's the deal. Most of all my business partners, all of us, all 4 of us have a network marketing background. Some of y'all on this call are connected to network marketers. Some of y'all's call are entrepreneurs, right? We have done businesses and done things for other companies. And yeah, we got a check for it, but we push the agenda for other companies using our mental aspects, our networks. And we decided we wanted to use our resources, our talents to push an agenda to help Money Ave go down the road. We wanted to help a Black-owned bank. Why? Here's some benefits. We're asking you to become an ambassador. Spread the word. It's not about being compensated. It's about spreading the word. Why? It's empowering the community, right? We're becoming a bridge for economic solutions. The second thing is we're teaching financial literacy, and Mr. Baker is going to talk about that. Here's the deal. We needed financial literacy. Us, we've been in business. We've had several businesses being our partners, but when we start looking at it, we was building our business with our own paychecks. And it's kind of hard to build a business with just your paycheck, where your competition is building it through business credit. So we're going to talk about that. Being a part of the development. Listen, you're going to be, by being an ambassador, Mr. Baker is going to talk about that. You're going to get some inside privileges to help be a part of the development team. I want us to be able to look back and think, when we look at Greenwood and Tulsa, Oklahoma, and things like that, I want us to be able to look back and say, we was a part of that. I want us to be able to look back when we look at Martin Luther King and the March on Washington. Some people say, I was a part of that. I was there for that. We look at the Million Man March, and I know one of my partners was on the line. He was instrumental in that. He always said, I was a part of that. I was in some of those meetings with Mr. Farrakhan. I want us to be able to say, we was a part of this history making, changing the Black wealth in America. And unlimited potentials. And Mr. Baker was talking, having access, I don't know, let me be transparent. I'm going to bring them up, ladies and gentlemen, but here's the deal. Look in your wallet. Yeah, Capital One, look in your wallet and tell me, when was the last time the CEO of Capital One called you? When was the last time you had a conversation with any of those banks? Some of y'all got 9 banks, 7 banks, 10 banks, 1 bank, 4 banks. When was the last time you sat down and the owner, not the branch manager, the owner, founder of the bank had a conversation with you about creating wealth? To me, ladies and gentlemen, that was a game changer. If nothing more than that right there, connecting with the owner of a bank just put my mind on a different financial plane. It just took our business on a different financial trajectory, partnering with this bank. So what you can do, ladies and gentlemen, is unlimited. There's a lot of entrepreneurs on this line, a lot of business owners, where you can set the path, you can just be the plug to somebody. That is huge. So without any further ado, I'm gonna get out the way. I just want to kind of let y'all know why we picked you, why you're here, why we're sharing this information. It really is to make an impact. And we're asking y'all to be some ambassadors. And at the end, you're going to show being an ambassador is not asking you to right now to open up the checkbook. We're asking you for some support. We're asking you to share the message. So without any further ado, next slide, I want to bring up a gentleman who I've gone to over the last few months or so have gained a tremendous amount of respect for him. I mean, you can research him. He's on YouTube. He's on Google. You can Google him. But his presence, his knowledge, his vision, to me, is tremendous. That's a game changer. And his access he's been given has been a game changer. Mr. Baker is the CEO and founder of Money Avenue. But here's the deal, ladies and gentlemen. I want to touch on it real quick. Me and him had a chance. I met him because in a social group that talks about nothing. The social group on Facebook. This group talks about nothing. My wife always asks me, Eric, why are you in that group? She thinks it's a singles group, but it's some married people in there too. But they talk about nothing. And Mr. Baker, I don't know if you realize this, you put a post, you can't even talk about business in this group. I'm a business person. On Tuesdays, you're allowed to post your business. I don't even know if I ever shared this with them, but on Tuesdays, you're allowed to post about your business. He put a post up saying that he was hiring for mortgage brokers. That one word said hiring. That caught my attention because everybody usually posts, they're selling t-shirts, you name it, they're selling something. 95% of most business owners in the Black community and more are sole proprietors. They don't hire. When this gentleman said he was hiring, I'm like, he's automatically in the top 4 or 5% just because he's hiring. I need to connect with him. Then I found out he owns a bank. I'm like, OMG. And here's the thing, Mr. Baker, as I bring you up, do you realize that group has over 60,000 members in it? That same week, for some reason, I've been part of that group since 2016, Facebook shut them down for some reason.
Wow.
And you're not, I don't know if you realize you're not part of the new, they had to restart all over and you're not part of the restart. If I didn't respond to your post that day, I would never have connected with you because you're not even part of the group anymore. The group got shut down. We would have never connected if I didn't respond to that post that Tuesday because the next week was not going to be promised because the group is no longer wasn't there.
Wow.
They're back, but you haven't been added to the new group. So with that being said, that is a tremendous, the fact you was open to share and communicate and connect, that showed me your passion right there. I was all in day one, and the team, our business, everybody was like, this is the path we need to go, and we need to tell everybody. So without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce to y'all the CEO and founder of the FinTech Black-owned bank, Money Avenue, Mr. A. Donahue Baker. Mr. Baker, we got you live today, sir?
Yes, yes. Could you guys hear me?
Yes, sir.
Loud and clear.
Right. Well, thank you, Mary. Thank you, Eric. Really a pleasure to be here with you guys. And you know, that just our interaction, like the way that we've met, it's hearing that story. I didn't realize the group was shut down, by the way. So I think this is meant to be. I think there's some divine intervention here. And for the people on the call, I think this is an extension, right? This is totally an extension of the effort, the work that we put in. My name is A. Donahue Baker. I am CEO and founder of the FinTech bank called Money Avenue. The reason why that we're on this call is because we put in a lot of work to get to this particular point, over a year worth of work, and we finally got approval for our depository accounts that's going to be cleared by the FDIC in February next year, 2021. We are starting a bank that is looking to do something very different compared to other banks. So the other banks that are out there, you guys may know of them, the major ones, right? The Wells Fargo, TD Bank, Citigroup, Chase, JP Morgan Chase, all of those banks make a tremendous amount of money every single month. In particular, we're looking to disrupt that paradigm and keep some of the wealth that those banks create into our community, pour it into our community. Let me give you an example of the scale, the magnitude of what I'm talking about. They make between each one of the banks, and I know we did a little quiz, what bank do you bank with, but each one of those banks make between $1 billion and $1.5 billion every single month in fees. We want to create a bank that eliminates that $1 billion every month that those banks make. We want to give that back to the people. We've created a platform that really makes us stand out from the bank. Like if you have a bank, your bank should be creating wealth for you. And we've done it in 6 steps. And this is the way that we do it. Number 1, the very first step, when you open an account with Money Ave, we show you through educational means, number 1, how to create wealth for yourself, how to be what we call a thousandaire, right? We define a thousandaire as a person that makes between at least 100,000 a year. You should be able to do that for yourself or your business. You're a thousandaire. The reason why we want you to be a thousandaire is because the principles that we're about to show you, you cannot be living paycheck to paycheck. So we want to get you out of that. Right? That's what this first level is really geared towards. What things we could do to help you supplement your income. Many of you are entrepreneurs already. We just want to be a facilitator to you to help you scale your business. Level 2, we want you to be and live a rent-free lifestyle. What do I mean by rent-free lifestyle? We want you to be homeowners. Eric talked earlier about the wealth gap. The primary reason that wealth gap exists is because in our community, we're not homeowners. We tend to be people that as a whole, we tend to rent more than we actually own. We want to change that. And one way in which we want to encourage more homeowners is we want people to, that particularly if you're on the younger scale, like between 20 and 30, we want you to house hack. We want you to basically buy a multifamily, live in one side, rent out the other before you buy a single family. And we have programs that can facilitate that and make that much easier than other conventional banks. Our third level, when we get to level 3, we ask you to take your credit score to 720. You lock your personal credit score because your credit is your credibility. The reason why we don't want you to use your personal credit score is because we're about to start the wealth building journey. And that journey starts with locking your personal credit and living exclusively through an LLC that you create. An LLC that is a completely separate legal entity. For some of you, it may be an LLC or an S Corp or a C Corp or an LLP, even a nonprofit. Some of you have tremendous nonprofit capabilities, but this is the step in which we're gonna really show you how to get wealth, how to create wealth and how to get it. And part of that is understanding how to safely, and I underscore the word safely, leverage debt, right? So how we do it, lock your credit at 720, your personal credit, live exclusively through your LLC, understanding that the power of the LLC means you have not only protection of the corporate veil, but you also have the credit side of your LLC. We give every person, every LLC that is out there, anyone, there's no prerequisites, there's no requirements. We give you $50,000 of business credit that is not connected to your personal credit profile. What we mean by that is that you don't have to be a personal guarantor. The reason why we want to instill this program so much is because we want to create more entrepreneurs, more real estate developers. That 50,000 is really an encouragement for people to get out there and start their business. Be a creator, be somebody that can have a business and then have the proof of concept with that business. If you're able to do that, we want you to go to level 4. And level 4 is strictly how to get high value lines of business credit. We have a Money Avenue credit card in the amount, we're gonna have limits as high as $100,000 when we release our card. The bottom line is, if you had $100,000 in your business, what level could you scale to? Well, at level 4, we're gonna show you how to get high value lines of credit that you, either lines of credit or access to credit that you could use to create more wealth for you or your business through real estate or entrepreneurship or whatever line that you focus, whatever your area of expertise is, that's the idea that we want to support you on that. We want to be a partner with you. Level 5, the million or so that you created in debt, we want to turn that into equity through valuations. If you're in real estate, you should know about forced appreciation. These are the things that really, really allow you to create wealth. And we have a term that we say turning thousandaires into millionaires. That is the process that we bring you along with Money Ave. For each level that you're on, you really just focus on one thing. And then our final level and the destination that we all should be shooting for is level 6, and that is the attainment of true generational wealth. And once we have created this wealth, what we want to do is create structures that allow you to pass it on. So what we have in place is we can help you set up trust. We can help you to get 1031 exchange if you want to take money out of your properties. It's a way to do it tax-free. If you have, we want you to have life insurance so you can pass on that wealth that you've created in your life to other people. This is why this is a wealth building platform, because it's something that we want to consciously create a community of people that want to create more millionaires. And why is it important to be a millionaire? Well, Eric said it before. We just had a $2 trillion stimulus. $1 million today will not be $1 million tomorrow. And there's over 1 million millionaires in this country today. So just to let you know, the wealth is around us. It is our time to be unapologetic about going after it and getting it. And Money Ave is going to show you exactly how to do just that. So the purpose of our bank is really, that is the purpose. We want to basically be this wealth building platform, but also if you look at the statistics, the government, the US government is the #1 employer of Black people, right? The Black businesses in and of itself, if we just bank with a Black bank that can create more Black businesses, we become the #1 employer of Black people, Black businesses. That's really the goal of what we're trying to do. We're trying to create more entrepreneurs, trying to create more real estate developers. In turn, that's how we can not only close the wealth gap, but also we can also decrease the Black unemployment rate. That is the goal of what we're trying to do. And we're trying to do it all across the country, working with you, the people that really, really matter, the people that's going to move the needle. So our ask is we're looking for 1,000 clients to open this bank account. Now, this bank account is just like any other bank, but it's different, right? There's no fees attached to this bank account. There's no minimal deposits that are required. There are, if let's say you have a paycheck and you get paid normally on Friday, you get paid 2 days earlier with us. So your paycheck will be available on Wednesday. In addition to that, you're insured up to $250,000 through FDIC insurance. So your money is completely safe. This is actually, there's no difference between this bank and any other bank that you see in a brick and mortar or anything like that. We have we have access through our bank to over 90,000 ATMs, and we don't charge you to use these ATMs, right? So, and you can make deposits by just taking a picture of a check if you need to, and automatically, this is technology, automatically you can make a deposit that way. So this really, the way that I equate this whole movement, right, the fintech movement, the way that I equate that is to, if you remember years back when Amazon was just getting started, when Amazon decided to go after the retail market, not a lot of people purchase stuff online, but every year that the amount of people that purchased via the internet increased 3%. Today, Amazon is the behemoth. Amazon has transformed the way we shop. And I see banking taking the same route. Every year, we're starting to see less and less, and COVID really hastened that. We're starting to see less and less people wanting to go into a branch. And those branches are actually the least profitable. And what's happening all over the country is that branches that are in our communities, right, inner city communities, are starting to close at alarming rates. So what's happening is we're having these areas where it takes longer distance to go to a particular branch, or branches are not being closed. Benches are being closed at such an alarming rate that COVID has forced a number. Bank of America, I'm out here in New Jersey. Bank of America, you cannot walk into a branch the first 3 or 4 months of COVID. So this is starting a new era. And these companies, particularly corporations, are having record profits. So there's really no incentive to go back and continue to employ individuals when it's cheaper not to, because there's an incentive to basically automate everything. And this is the way it's going. We want to be at the forefront of that movement. We want to be the deciders, the people that say we want to direct where our wealth goes, our dollar goes. And all we're asking is to be a part of this movement. You don't have to close your bank accounts, but if you say, let me bank with them to an extent where they can create more minority entrepreneurs and real estate developers, it makes more Black businesses come about. And that's really the overriding goal of what we're looking to accomplish. So I don't know, Eric, I hope I touched on everything, but if you feel I didn't touch on something, I didn't want to monopolize the whole thing. I wanted you to kind of tap on, see if I forgot anything that we need to talk about.
I think you talked about pretty much everything. There was a question somebody asked, and the question was around cryptocurrencies. He said, will there be any cryptocurrency element or product in the development?
Yes, we're working on something that's really special, right? So I didn't even know we were going to talk about this, but we're going to have a crypto wallet later in 2021. And the whole thing is that in our community, there's lots of immigrant populations, right? Be it Jamaican, Haitian, wherever, right? There are people that have families in other places. And one of the things is that we've kind of created this moat around the US. And it's hard to send money, or we have to use Western Union, we get killed with all these fees. We're creating a crypto wallet in which you can purchase crypto, and that allows us to basically, within regulations, send money, very minimum fees to different islands or different countries, basically outside of the United States banking system, right? Via the cryptocurrency. So you purchase the crypto and it can be converted back. So that's allowing us, it should be just as easy. If I want to, we have these apps, the Cash App, Venmo, all, people that send money real quick. You should be able to send money to, Europe or, South America or Africa, wherever it is. So our goal is to kind of use those ethnic populations that are looking to send money home to launch that particular product in later in 2021. So yeah, that was a great question, and something that we're excited about delivering to the market as well.
Okay, we got 2 other questions. One is if you can touch on, the first one probably is an easy answer. That is, do you have to have a direct deposit to be a part of Money Ave? And the second question is, if you could touch on the generational accounts for the youth.
Yes, thank you. I thought that's what I forgot. I knew I forgot one piece, and it was the generational account. So I'm going to talk about that. But the very first question, do you have to have a direct deposit? No, you do not. You do not have to have a direct deposit. But if you do, the benefits of having a direct deposit is this. You get your check 2 days earlier than if you bank with traditional banking. So if you're normally your check is available on Friday, now it's going to be available on Wednesday, right? So that's a plus. Why is that such a big deal? Well, in our community, lots of payday lenders, lots of pawn shops, they've been springing up. Our product is designed particularly to go after that sector, because that sector has been a drain of wealth out of our community. So what we have is that feature, that's number one, but we also have another feature. If you need anywhere from $500 all the way up to $10,000, this is available today. If you need anywhere from $500 to $10,000, you can get a loan in less than 3 hours on our site, moneyab.com. That's available today. That has made that product, which we've targeted payday lenders, and it's had a tremendous effect. We have over 40,000 clients that have done business with us. That is one of our popular products. It has made us the 9th fastest growing fintech company in the United States of America. That is a product that I'm talking about. Their interest rates are going to be like 2 and 3%, very low interest compared to what you're getting from these pawn shops and these check cashing places that are giving you these short-term loans. So, having a depository account, allowing you to get your money quicker and allowing you to get, if you need to, get access to these short-term loans, I think is going to be a wealth driver for some that are stuck between pay periods. So 2 features that are going to add tremendous value.
That is awesome. And I guess maybe this point I want to drive home because somebody asked another question. The question was, currently Money Ave is just an app bank. And what's the difference between a brick and mortar and Money Ave outside of the 6-tier program? I guess that's the question. And maybe I'll hear your answer from that question.
Yeah, so we are a wealth building platform. Now, outside of the steps that we have and the things that we offer to build wealth, we're basically just like your regular bank. We can do everything they can do, but we do not have a physical facility where you walk into, right? That is the least profitable portion of this banking equation, is that most of these big banks, if they could, they would close a lot of their branches. But the thing is, and we're seeing it year in and year out, more people are banking online now. There's no reason for you to go into a branch. There is none. If you need a loan, you could do it from your cell phone. If you need to make a deposit, take a picture of the check and it gets deposited automatically. If you need money, just make it to an ATM. There's really no logical reason why you would want to go into a bank. Really, trust me, this is ripe for disruption. And in the process, this company, with your support, if you get behind it, is going to be $1 billion company. And because it's going to be $1 billion company, there's going to be millionaires that's going to be created along the way. Those millionaires could be you, I, Mary, Eric, all of us. If we make the decision to support this bank, if we make the decision to spread the word, if we make the decision to go out and get the people to sign up, this is money that will go back into your community. And because it's like that, we can operate in all 50 states. We don't need to open branches up in every state. We can operate wherever. We can provide lending services. We can, this is the other thing. That led me to, we also forgot that on our board is a billionaire. This billionaire has pledged $500,000 to basically create more entrepreneurs and more real estate developers. So another aspect of what we're going to be doing is investing. These are not loans. This is an investment from a fund that goes into businesses or real estate development projects. We get a return on that. We make some type of profit, and we're able to continue that and legacy build that out. So that is a feature that I think is definitely separates us from a typical bank. A typical bank is not going to joint venture partner with you on a real estate deal. We will.
Okay, I have another great.
But I also forgot, I was so long-winded, Eric, I forgot to mention the generational accounts. Okay. And I think that is something that we need to talk about in our community because the generational accounts are going to be key. So we have an account. So the analogy that I give is that when I was 15 or 16 years old, I grew up in the projects for the most part, affordable housing, right? Some call them projects, whatever you want to call it. But my parents did not have financial literacy. I didn't know how to bank. I didn't know about credit cards. I didn't know anything. So when I finally went to school, I went to Georgetown University in DC, and I turned 18 after I had graduated from high school. I started getting flooded with credit cards. Mm-hmm. I got literally, it was like a 2 or 3 week period where I got a new credit card every single day. I just thought this was free money. So what I did is I went out and spent, willy-nilly. I was taking my friends out to dinner and did it, it was terrible. The bill eventually came and, I didn't have the money to pay. I was a student. I wasn't even working at the time. Mm-hmm. The point is that because I didn't have the financial literacy and understanding how banking works, how credit card works, how this whole system, this ecosystem exists, I basically had to catch up, right? I had my credit ding and it took some years to rebound, right? if we provide our children with financial literacy before they turn 18, they will be further equipped, better than we were, right? So we have these accounts. They're called generational accounts. If you have a minor, basically, hopefully it's a teenager, you know, we want them to be teenagers around that way, because we want to give them, you know, with parental constraints on it, we want to give them an account where they can get a bill. They can understand how credit works. We can give them a MasterCard. We have a MasterCard for these accounts that they can use like a credit card, and start to instill financial literacy in our young adults and future leaders. I think if we do that, they won't be flooded when they get a credit card in the mail, because these are what these bigger companies, credit card companies, are doing now. Just waiting, they're targeting these young adults, and it's like free money, and eventually it dings their credit. What that does is puts them in a situation where they're kind of behind the 8 ball on debt. The way that we want to show them how debt works is, yes, you have debt under your personal, but the way you need to accumulate debt is safely, and that's in a separate legal entity. So you can really build wealth and be unapologetic about building wealth, the same way the masters of business credit have done it, the same way people like Donald Trump has done it, right? So people ask us like, yo, Donald Trump has 500 LLCs. Why does one man need 500 LLCs? Donald Trump understands the power of the LLC. He knows how to leverage debt under the LLC, and when he gets in trouble, he's protected. So he's filed for bankruptcy 4 times, and to the tune of, he's walked away from hundreds of millions of dollars, right? But he's never jeopardized his personal credit. And that's how we need to think about business credit. And that's how we need to be unapologetic. And we need to teach our kids to be unapologetic when we have a vision, a goal, a way to create, because we need to produce more creators, right? That's really the key. We need to produce more creators, give them the resources to create. One of the greatest wealth creation processes that is occurring in the history of mankind is occurring right now in Silicon Valley. There's more billionaires that are being created out of that technology hub in Silicon Valley than anywhere in the history of mankind. We're underrepresented there. That has to change. And we're gonna be a part of that. And this is part of it. Like our fund, we wanna teach our kids financial literacy, how to take advantage of technology. And then we wanna be an investor in their businesses. 50,000 is one way, but there's gonna be businesses that spring out of that that's gonna need $2, $3, $4, $5 million. That's the type of investment that we really are looking to make an impact in these young entrepreneurial lives. So, sorry, I was a little long-winded, but I'm so passionate about this.
Mr. Baker, you got us fired up over here. This is Sunday night. You don't get this. Where are we going to get CEO talk from a banker on a Sunday night?
This is my life's work. And it's like, you know, I kind of can go on a tangent sometimes, but I live this, I'm passionate, and my heart is to help people. And that's really what I want to do.
And I'm loving what you're saying. And I just want to put a note out there for those who don't know. You're also, this year, you took on being a professor at Morehouse, and you invited us to one of your classes where you had a billionaire talking about real estate development. So people may not know that you're also a professor teaching this at Morehouse University, teaching entrepreneurship.
Absolutely. I get the opportunity to pour into young minds. So they keep me fresh, you know, like talking to like a 20-year-old, a 21-year-old, it is like a new idealism. Like, that's why I said within the next 5 to 10 years, I guarantee you, mark my words, you're going to have either a teenage billionaire or a billionaire that's going to be like 21, 22. Reason why is because of what's happening in Silicon Valley. There is a tremendous amount of investment being poured in, combination of social media, combination of just thinking and having this idealistic passion to create. Somebody is gonna hit on the right product, put the right things in place, and it's gonna take off, and they're gonna create. They're gonna be there may be multiple billionaires, but trust me, it's gonna be some young billionaire that's gonna come up within the next 5 years.
I love it. Then there's one other question here, if you don't mind grabbing this. This person said, are bill paying services offered where I can pay my bills online through the banking or through the individual bill accounts. That person
Absolutely.
also asked about how accessible is customer service if they have a question about their account.
Absolutely. So our customer service is one of our bright spots, right? So basically the first 1,000 people that use this app, and the app is going to be available next month, but we're asking, if we're trying to get 1,000 people to use the app first and then give us some feedback. So basically the thing about that is that there may be some bugs in the first go around, right? It may not, but there may be. But we ask that, you know, those first 1,000 people, we're going to compensate them and do something really, really special. And when I mean really, really special, like we have this billionaire that's on our board, and those 1,000 people will definitely be rewarded some shape, form. How we haven't thought about it yet for exactly what it is. It could be cash. It could be something else that we're going to do. But the bottom line is, this is an opportunity to make history, because no other bank is offering this. This is a wealth building platform. It's not just a regular bank account where you just put your money in and pay the bank. No, this is something that this bank is going to create opportunities for you. And we have, we're going to have events as well as educational things all over the country to improve financial literacy and help people to create generational wealth.
Nice.
We got a couple of other quick questions here. Now, I think you might be asked this simply. Somebody said, one, if I can round this up, the turnaround time, if they need to withdraw money from their checking account. Also, another person said, if they don't have direct deposit, how can they get money deposited into their accounts? How can they fund their accounts, I guess, when they don't have direct deposit?
Right. So it's two ways you can fund the account. You can go to an ATM and you can make a deposit into an ATM, or if you have a check, you could take a picture of the check and you can make a deposit that way. You know, those are two ways you can do it. You know, that's basically easy, simple way to either make a deposit, basically using the ATM as your branch, so to speak, right? If you need to. There was another part of that question. You want to repeat it was one, I answered the latter.
They was asking about the turnaround time for withdrawals, and the turnaround time to withdraw money from the checking. And I'm gonna ask, somebody asked about, were y'all looking to partner with Zelle or one of those other companies so they can do money transfers between accounts?
No, you'll be able to transfer money out of our accounts through our app, right? So we have the same way you could do Cash App, same way you could do Zelle, could come right out of your account, that will be compatible with everything else that's going on. So, you know, you put the money in, you have full access to it, right? You can pay your bills. We're gonna have a bill pay feature. So there's a payment side to it. So you can, like, if you pay your mortgage, you can pay your mortgage out of that account. Everything that you could do out of your bank right now can be done out of a Money Ave account. There is no handicap. There is no downside. The only downside that we have is that we do not have a branch. Everything else is the same.
I love it. I love it. I think that was the question. I just want to check social media. I don't think we have any social media questions.
Yeah, no questions, but lots of hearts, lots of thumbs ups going on in the group.
Mary, can you give us the next slide, please?
Sure can.
So then the one other piece that I want to just kind of drive home is that the people that are on this call and hearing me now, like, this is an opportunity to bank with a bank at the ground floor, right? So just imagine if you had an opportunity, or had a relationship with Jamie Dimon, who's the CEO of JP Morgan Chase, or if you had an opportunity to get involved with the bank at the inception, you become kind of the foundation. And having that relationship is key. And that's why I'm here and giving you the access, because ultimately I want to have a one-on-one relationship with all of that first 1,000 people that start this bank. And that's why I wanted to offer my social media, Donahue Baker. You can reach out, we can dialogue, you can ask me questions. If you have a business, maybe you have a business plan, you're looking to get funded, you know, whatever it is. The bottom line is, this is a community that we can leverage. The people that are here to help you build generational wealth. That's the end goal. If we could bring you there through the 6 steps that we talk about, we've done our job. I have a 3-year-old son. His name is Legacy. The fact of the matter is, I did one thing. When Legacy was 2, Legacy owned a 6-unit apartment building, right? That apartment building is going to do 2 things for him. The first, it's my gift to him to create generational wealth. That's what I did. You guys can do it too. But owning that apartment building, if I didn't have the knowledge to usually do creative financing, to set up trust, because he owns that in a trust, right? So via the trust, I'm able, if I should pass tomorrow or whatever, he at least has this income that comes in, and he's able, at least when he turns 18, that income that comes from that is going to allow him to choose whatever walk of profession he wants to choose. Or if he chooses not to, he can pursue his God-given talents and do what he wants to. He's not forced to get a job. But if he wants to go to college, that apartment building is going to be able to finance all 4 years of his college education, which I didn't have the luxury of doing, So that was, and each one of us can do similar things. And this company is designed to help us do similar things, right? And that's what we talk about at Level 6, is the creation of generational wealth.
Wow, wow. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you, Mr. Baker, but I want y'all to hear this right now. We have the next steps. The next steps is sign up. You go to bankmoneyave.com. You see step 1, bank, BANK, moneyave.com. Sign up, and the sign up with the movement is simply your name, email, and phone number. So we did this call at 7 o'clock, Mr. Baker, and people were signing up right there on the spot. We had a whole bunch of people. So if you register and sign up right now, Bank Money Ave, somebody just said it took 2 seconds before I could even say it. I want to, it took 2 seconds to sign up. So if you're on now, we need you to go to Bank Money Ave and sign up. If you're on now, you're watching in social media, we need you to go to Bank Money Ave and sign up. What do we have
in the chat? So all they have to do is click on it.
It's in the chat. Just click on it. It's in the chat. Just click on, if you're in the chat, click on it, sign up, put your name, and then let us know that you signed up. The second step is join our Facebook group, because the CEO Prep Academy, that's how we're keeping everybody communicated. We're going to let you know what we do, how we do it, allow you to also communicate and partner when things come down. So join the Facebook group. And the third thing is share. We're really, really asking you, and I want y'all to see this. I don't know if what we're really asking y'all to do. Some of y'all realize we are part of a lot of y'all are part of networking. We've been in networking for a while. Like I said, we've helped companies make millions, and some of y'all have done hundreds of millions. Some of y'all got extensive networks on here, but everybody got a friend, family, cousin, coworker, somebody. We can all share Bank Money Ave with 10 to 20 people. Over the next 2 days, we need to get those 1,000 people and more in the next 2 days. I'm charging us on this line to go out, share Bank Money Ave with 10 to 20 people. If those who are hearing this, watching this, go do that, we will have thousands of people already this week pre-registered. So that's the charge. We got 2 people already said they're done. We want y'all to be a part of this mission, be the ambassadors. I told Mr. Baker, this is something I'm passionate about. This is something all of us are passionate about. We got a lot of people, we talk to y'all individually, you're passionate about it. I don't know how you can not be passionate about helping in our community, because my partner, Mr. Baker, Mr. James Burrell, said this. He said, Eric, let's be transparent. Let's cut it, because if he was on, he could say it probably better than me. He said, most of us are banking with banks, and we don't know the CEO. We don't know the president. We don't know nothing about their background. They didn't ask us any questions. I know I spent over $8,000 in Cash App over the last 3 years, Cash App in my son, just my son alone. I don't know who Cash App is, where they came from, what they're doing. We got a chance to have somebody who we can see, touch, talk, and looks like me start a bank. I'm in just for that. And then you talk about the wealth strategies. We need to stop all this, act like we got to be super smart and super thing, because you don't know all those questions with the banks you bank with. And you just told us they're making $1 billion to $500 million a month strictly in fees. No, our money needs to be reinvested to somebody like you, to the mission of Money Ave, back into our community, so we can turn those thousandaires into millionaires. And so, ladies and gentlemen, and he just gave you his personal information. So sign in, share the mission. If you're looking to share the mission, say I'm in. If you're on social media, say I'm in. Malcolm Turner say he's already done. So anybody else who's on, it's Sunday night.
Oba signed up.
Oba say he's in. So anybody else, type I'm in so we can get you a shout out real quick. Deshaun said I'm in. Who else is in? We need to see who's in. We want to give y'all a shout out because y'all are doing something special. And he told you we're going to do something special for us. And I want to thank you again, Mr. Baker, for coming in.
Absolutely. I appreciate it. There's one, I think there was one person had a question that wasn't answered.
Yes. Would you like me to read it?
Yeah, I
Okay.
can't see it. It was too quick. Yeah.
It came from Oba. Oba said, love this program. I am tired of dealing with banks that come into our community, of which most of the Black churches have their money in, and those blanks won't loan anything to us. My question is, will these loans or credit lines be based solely on FICO scores?
Okay, some of them will, some of them won't. The ones that will are the personal loans. So those loans, the loan program that I talked about that's currently available right now, that is based on your personal FICO score. However, we know that typically entrepreneurs can't walk into a bank and get a loan product. So we have to be creative. So we have loans that are not based on that. But if they're not based on the personal score, they have to be based on an LLC or something that you're doing. That's why we need you to create LLCs, because that is a way in which you can get funding. We offer every LLC $50,000 of business credit if you join our program. This is, to me, a game changer, right? Because not only that, you can get in there, then you can get a Money Ave credit card, $100,000 credit card. You can use that to scale your business. You need a line of credit, we can get you a $500,000 line of credit that you can, we need 2 years tax returns though on that, just so you don't walk in thinking you can get it on day one. But when you get, it's a progress, right? It's not a transactional type of thing. It is something that we work with you to get you to the level that you need to be. That's what you need to understand. It's not a transactional thing where you just go in, boom, boom, open an account. No, we're gonna be together for lifetime. Like kids, parents, grandparents. This is a new way of banking. This is a way so that we can take control of our future. We can take control of what Black entrepreneurs get funded, Black real estate developers get funded. We're setting up a fund so that as long as we're continuing to invest in profitable projects, it's a cycle that grows year in and year out. So if we have that mentality and we know that this is a long-term generational wealth building thing, this is the start of it. It's just coming into the system. There's no other platform like this. I guarantee you will not find it. And our success will create more opportunity for people we talked about before. All we need to do is spend 10% of our income in a Black bank, and we'll create more Black entrepreneurs, Black real estate developers, which will employ more minorities.
Wow.
It's as simple as that.
10%. Wow.
Ooh. Somebody asked, even if I already have multiple LLCs?
For every LLC that you have, we get you $50,000 of business credit through our business credit program. Simple as that. Like the thing, I keep going back to Donald Trump, right? But he's really laid the roadmap. He's our president, but if you look at how he did it, right? Those 500 LLCs that he has, it's like there's no bank in this country will lend Donald Trump money. Why? Because he has every single bank, every single business that he set up, he's leveraged them to the tilt. And then when he refuses to live up to his obligation, what he does is he basically applies the principles of being really aggressive financially and saying, look, I'm more valuable to you. as in good standing. My name is more valuable. So instead of foreclosing or filing for bankruptcy, they encourage him to say, well, look, we'll work something out. We'll work something out with you. It's just that. It's just moving zeros on the banks create money. This is what it is. It's fractional reserve banking. They take the same $1,000 and lend that out, but they have to keep a certain amount in a reserve. But $1,000, and let me just break down how it's done. $1,000, they have to keep 10% in reserve. They lend out 900. The person that got 900, it could be your business. You get $900, you earn $900, and then you say, I got to put it back in the bank. You deposit it. So now you get the bank out of that same $900 can lend out $810, and so on and so on. But ultimately, this money is FDIC insured. It's fiat currency, So the point is, and not to get so technical in banking, but the point is that you can take a little bit and do a lot. You can take a little bit of money, like the little bit of money that you guys are banking is going to help a lot of minority entrepreneurs and real estate developers. So that's why we need the support. That's why it's important to spend the money in the Black community, because these other groups are spending it within their community. We need to start doing the same thing.
Most definitely. Most definitely. We had another question. You hit on part of it about the cryptocurrency earlier, so we won't revisit that. But he asked, will you be able to purchase stock in the bank at some point?
Yes. So great question. So one of the things that we need to figure out is this bank was started through me and my partner. His name is Will Mingo. We put our own money into this bank and invested up to this point. We own all the full bank, right? We own 100% of it. At some point in time, and this is what you have to understand in business, in order to reach people and scale, at some point in time, we've got to do Series A. And if you don't know what a Series A is, it's going either to get angel investors, and we spoke to some really A-list celebrities that want to invest and want to put money in and help us grow. At some point, in order to scale, we've got to raise money so that we can hire more people, so that we can get the word out, and then we can scale. So that is going to come. And then the question becomes, at that particular point in time, do we stay private or do we go on a trajectory to be public, right? So if you look at how this is done, there's other companies that are in this space that have started in this space, but they're not Black owned, right? One of the biggest companies that have started in this space is a company called Chime, right? All Chime does is basically, Chime has 14.8 million customers. They have 14.8 million customers, and Chime is a unicorn, which means that they're valued right now at over $1 billion. Their valuation is actually $14 billion, right? So they're worth $14 billion. So the point I'm trying to make is, if we as a people, if we say we could get 1 million people to bank on this platform, we can create comparable valuations of Chime, because we have more services and more verticals than Chime. So where Chime took 7 years to get to, if it takes us 2 to get 1 million people, we've literally created a $1 billion company. We've literally created a unicorn. At that point in time, we could choose to go public if we want to or not. But what we're trying to create is an atmosphere that these first 1,000 people are involved in that decision. That's why there's this access. That's why there's this ability to say, use our beta app, because it's not available to the general public, but we need that feedback, right? We need that feedback. And along the course, you're going to have a say. You're going to be able to hit me on the DMs, ask me questions, tell me what you feel we should do. That's the whole thing. We're going to work with Mary. We're going to work with Eric. And we're going to figure out, what is the charted course? How do we affect lives? How do we make the biggest impact? Maybe you have a business. Maybe you have something that we can invest some money in, and we can help that to scale. Maybe we become our own VCs. Maybe there's other entrepreneurs in the group that, you know, that have different ideas that can say, you know what, we could be a part of Money Ave. We can join in with Money Ave and do this for you guys. You know, what we're looking to do is we're looking to be an educational platform, because we need to improve financial literacy. We improve financial literacy, people make better decisions. So maybe you're a teacher out there that never ever thought about being an entrepreneur. Well, we need you at Money Ave. We need teachers. We need people that can help teach financial literacy, and we need them all over the country. So we have different initiatives that we're looking to roll out, and part of it is, this is the group. That 1,000 people, those are the people that are going to shape the future, and they're all going to be compensated, whether we're going to give you stock in the company, whether we're going to give you shares. We need to figure it out. We just have to figure it out.
Oh, Mr. Baker, I want to thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, it's 10 o'clock. Whew. You took us to 10 o'clock on a Sunday night talking about business and banking. And I'm telling you right now, I don't know anywhere else on the planet where this conversation is happening on a Sunday night, open to the general public.
Yeah.
If anybody can tell me where on the planet this conversation to the general public, not privately for somebody who's, you know, your group of friends, but to the general public, like you just did with this group. Ladies and gentlemen, you're part of this group. Please understand you're special. We're going to spread the word. He put the ball in our court. Let's run. Let's roll. I know some of y'all who you are. You have a network. Let's now push the envelope and show them what we can do with our network support, right?
Yes. And Eric, Mr. Donahue put out that 1,000, the first 1,000. What's our goal? What, as far as this 1, 2, 3 share? Do we have a timeline associated with that?
We do. Our goal is in the next 2 days, by the end of close of business Tuesday, we need to have 1,000 people already pre-registered with Sign Up with Money Ave by Tuesday. So that's tonight, tomorrow, and all Tuesday. We need to get out there and get 1,000 people already signed up with Bank Money Ave, because my daughter needs to be on. My son, they're old enough, they need to be on. They need to be registered. Huh?
My neighbors
need to be on. My co-workers, my parents, everybody I know needs to be on this app. We're asking you to do 10 to 20 people. We've had hundreds of people come through between social media and between watching this video and between live here. We had over 100 people. If everybody does their 10 to 20, we're over 1,000 by Tuesday. Let's get to work. Let's now not talk about it. Let's now be about it, because we're looking for ambassadors. And we always say this: share it, for like us, and love us. Some are going to like it and they just want to sign up and do this. Some are going to love the mission, and y'all just heard from Mr. Baker. Y'all are going to have some people who are going to want to push it, and you tell them, go share it to their friends and family, right? And so on and so on and so on. I don't have to speak that to most of y'all in this group, because you're doing it already. We selected some networkers, and we know y'all know what to do with this information. So now let's show Mr. A. Donahue Baker that we know what to do with this information. And I thank you, Mr. Baker, for welcoming us in our community, because he said, Eric, you know, I've never done network marketing, but I welcome y'all. And I'm telling y'all, if y'all don't know, most banks don't welcome network marketers. I found out one of the hard ways during this Corona, personally, and I'll just leave it at this. There's an application for the EIDL loan. It says, are you a network marketing networker? I checked, yes. Well, then they sent me back a notice saying, you don't qualify because we don't support network marketing networkers pyramid schemes. But you could check it on the box, but you didn't get the application. But then somebody told me later, hey, Eric, you know what? I know somebody who checked that box. They didn't look like you, and they got their money. So here's the deal. I'm just saying what I was told. So we need to push this agenda and help this company get to where we need to go. And ladies and gentlemen, the rewards are going to be on the back end. So thank you, Mr. Baker. We can all give him a thank you in the chat box.
Woo! Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
High five virtually. I love it.
Thank you guys.
Thank
Well,
you.
I'm sure I just want to be a resource to you guys. If anybody once again wants to reach out to me, Donahue Baker. I'm primarily on Instagram a lot actually, but on all social media platforms as well. Thank each and every one of you, and this will not be the last. We'll follow up more. I'm just waiting for direction from Dr. Mary and Eric, and we'll be back on, and we'll build this thing, and this will be our financial institution. And the entrepreneurs that are on this line, trust me, at some point in time, you're going to be super, super thankful, because we want to work with you individually, and we will, to create more and more generational wealth builders. That's the goal. So thank you. I know it's late. I'm going to close on that note. Each one of you have a great night, and we'll talk.